These days, trends ignite and fade swiftly, but one very modern take on an old and nasty habit appears to be tightening its grip on the consciousness of the new generation.
Vaping among middle schoolers is now on the rise.
Head teachers have reported that some pupils have become addicted to nicotine. In a small number of cases, children have needed hospital treatment.
And that led to some 2,800 people being hospitalized in the US, most of them quite young too.
I feel like I'm at war in my body. My throat hurts, my head hurts, I'm craving it. I'm really hungry. I'm fucking crying.
You were days from dying.
Yeah, that still hasn't really processed yet.
This is more than a cautionary tale. For young people, their journey into the world of vaping starts with a single curious puff.
It started off just whenever I'd be with my friends on the weekends, I would just hit theirs.
The sleek metallic devices that promise rich and exotic flavors relies on its novelty, but masks an underlying danger: its addictive grip. The vape, once a symbol of curiosity and a means to socialize, soon becomes a constant companion for younger people, and what started as an occasional indulgence quickly spirals into a necessity. For this new generation that are enticed by the allure of vaping and the promise of a safer alternative to traditional smoking, they quickly find themselves ensnared. The rise of vapes, propelled by aggressive marketing and the appeal of discreet usage, has ushered in a new era of nicotine addiction, one that is cloaked in the guise of technology and innovation. Welcome to the Global Insight. According to figures from the British charity ASH, or Action on Smoking and Health, 7.6% of 11 to 17-year-olds now vape regularly or occasionally, and this is up from 4.1% in 2020. This has led Rishi Sunak to declare a ban on disposable vapes and introduce measures that prevent vapes from being marketed at children and to target underage sales. And although Prime Minister Sunak has suggested that adult smokers trying to stop smoking will still have access to alternatives, like vapes under the proposals, the ban is expected to be introduced across the UK.
The children shouldn't be vaping. We don't want them to get addicted. We still don't understand the full long-term health impacts of vaping, so it's right that we take strong action to stamp this out. That's what we're doing. Banning disposable vapes, taking powers to go after the flavours, the appearance, the packaging where vapes are displayed in stores, but also improving enforcement, making it easier to levy on-the-spot fines at retailers who shouldn't be selling to kids. Taken together, it's a strong set of measures so we can improve our children's health. It's the right long-term thing for the country.
So what exactly is the problem? And what really is in those shiny new containers that it appears everyone seems to be puffing away on? Vapes, short for vaporizers, are electronic devices designed to deliver nicotine, flavorings, and other chemicals to users in the form of an aerosol, which is inhaled into the lungs. Unlike traditional cigarettes that burn tobacco, vapes use a battery to heat a liquid, often called e-liquid or vape juice, turning it into a vapor that can be inhaled. This process is often referred to as vaping. Users press a button on the vape to release the vapor and then, like any normal cigarette, pull the contents of the vapor into their lungs, which delivers the highly addictive drug nicotine into their bloodstream. And because the nicotine is delivered in this vaporized form and not burned using fire like a traditional cigarette, vapes are perceived as a much healthier alternative to traditional forms of smoking. But are they really? The concept of the electronic cigarette was first patented in 1963 by Herbert A. Gilbert, but it was not commercialized, largely due to the technological limitations of the time and the prevailing popularity of traditional smoking. The modern e-cigarette, as we now know it, was invented by Chinese pharmacist Han Lik in 2003. Han Lik, a smoker himself, was motivated by the death of his father to lung cancer and sought a safer, cleaner alternative to traditional cigarettes. His invention was intended to simulate the smoking experience without the harmful effects of tobacco combustion. Han Lic's invention was introduced to the Chinese market in 2004 and gradually made its way to international markets by 2006 and 2007. Initially marketed as a tool for smoking cessation and a safer alternative to traditional cigarettes, vapes quickly gained popularity among smokers looking to quit or reduce their tobacco use. However, the vaping industry has evolved significantly since its inception, with a vast array of devices now available, ranging from first-generation cig-alikes that resemble traditional cigarettes to advanced personal vaporizers, also known as mods, that offer customizable settings and features. The global vaping market has seen exponential growth over the years. According to a report by the World Health Organization, there were an estimated 7 million vape users worldwide in 2011, a number that soared to 41 million by 2018. Market research projected the global vape market to reach approximately $45 billion by 2024. This growth has been driven by various factors, including aggressive marketing, the appeal of flavored e-liquids, and the perception of vapes as a less harmful alternative to smoking. The American Lung Association's website, lung.org, highlights the dangers of inhaling harmful chemicals, noting that such exposure can lead to irreversible lung damage and disease. They reference a January 2018 consensus study report by the National Academies of Science, Engineering and Medicine, which synthesizes findings from over 800 studies. This report confirms the health risks associated with e-cigarette use, pointing out that e-cigarettes contain and emit several potentially toxic substances. Furthermore, the report indicates that there is moderate evidence suggesting an increased risk of coughing, wheezing, and asthma exacerbations among young people who use e-cigarettes. Research conducted by the University of North Carolina has identified the main components of e-cigarettes, propylene glycol and vegetable glycerine, as toxic to cells, emphasizing that the toxicity increases with the number of ingredients in the e-liquid. E-cigarettes are known to generate harmful chemicals such as acetaldehyde, acrolein and formaldehyde, all of which are linked to lung and cardiovascular diseases. Acrolein in particular, a chemical typically used as a herbicide, has been associated with acute lung injury, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease or COPD, as well as the potential to cause asthma and lung cancer. One significant and widely reported example of illness related to prolonged vaping use is the outbreak of e-cigarette or vaping product use-associated lung injury, also known as EVALI, which emerged in the United States in 2019. This condition captured national attention due to the sudden increase in lung injury cases linked to vaping. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, led the investigation into this outbreak, working closely with state health departments and other federal agencies.
The CDC is on the verge of confirming hundreds of more people have gotten really sick from e-cigs.
And even more concerning, listen to this, the number of high schoolers picking up the pens.
Individuals affected by EVALI presented with a variety of symptoms, including shortness of breath, coughing, chest pain, gastrointestinal symptoms such as nausea, vomiting or diarrhea, fever, chills and weight loss. The condition was severe and even fatal in some cases. The CDC reported thousands of cases of lung injury associated with vaping across the United States. Many of these cases required hospitalization, with a significant number of patients needing intensive care and mechanical ventilation due to the severity of lung injuries. Through epidemiological and laboratory studies, the CDC identified vitamin E acetate, an additive in some THC-containing e-cigarette or vaping products, as a chemical of concern among people with EVALI. Vitamin E acetate is used as a thickening agent in THC vaping products, and its inhalation can interfere with normal lung functioning. The EVALI outbreak was linked to dozens of deaths across the United States. The CDC confirmed that the majority of these cases involved products that contained tetrahydrocannabinol or THC, particularly those obtained from informal sources like friends, family or in-person or online dealers. In response to the outbreak, the CDC issued recommendations advising against the use of THC-containing vaping products, especially those from informal sources. The agency also recommended that individuals refrain from adding any substances to vaping products that are not intended by the manufacturer. The EVALI outbreak highlighted the potential risks and health consequences associated with vaping, especially the use of illicitly obtained and modified products. It prompted increased scrutiny of vaping products, regulatory actions aimed at controlling the use of harmful substances in e-cigarettes, and a greater emphasis on the public education about the risks of vaping. The rapid growth and popularity of vapes has prompted significant regulatory scrutiny and action globally. Many countries have imposed regulations on the sale, marketing and use of vaping products, including age restrictions, bans on certain flavors, and limitations on advertising. These measures aim to curb vaping among young people and non-smokers amid concerns about health risks and the potential for vapes to serve as a gateway to traditional smoking. Vapes were introduced to the market as a potentially safer alternative to traditional smoking and a tool for smoking cessation. However, their evolution and the diversity of products available have positioned them at the center of a complex public health debate. While vapes have been credited with helping some smokers to quit, their rising popularity among young people and the ongoing research into the long-term health effects continue to raise concerns among health professionals and regulators. That's it for now. If you've enjoyed this report into the murky world of vaping, please like and share the video. Remember, your comments are important to us and they also help to drive a conversation with like-minded people, so please tell us what you really think. Do you vape? Do you plan on stopping? What do you think of children vaping? Can you really be sure it's safe? Finally, don't forget to subscribe to The Global Insight for more great news from around the world. And until next time, stay tuned.